Never save the good stuff for later. Start with the best scene in your novel. Don't save your favorite scenes for book 2. You'll always get more ideas later. Only write the good stuff. Be an anthropologist, not a teacher. You're not preaching to your readers, you're showing them a new way to see the world. Focus on creating images in your reader's mind rather than explaining the story to them. Let the reader see with their own eyes. Don't say that the church was beautiful, say that it leans on ancient beams, heavy with the prayers of desperate patrons. Don't end sentences with adverbs. If you struggle to hit your writing goals, then set smaller goals. 100 words per day will get you a novel, 0 words per day will not. Your book will show up in revision. The first draft is just getting words out. It doesn't matter how bad they are. If you get stuck, skip it. Just stop writing and skip to the next thing that you're excited to write about, and write that. Each scene should be a story with a beginning, middle, and end, where one action causes the next. Write the first chapter last. This will help you avoid that problem where the first chapter is just backstory and description, and the writer getting themselves settled into the story. Write the first chapter last. You don't have to write your story in the order that it happens. Write what feels alive to you in the moment. Skip around. Use active voice whenever possible. Finish every first draft. If that is your rule, then you won't keep abandoning projects in the middle. You only learn if you finish. Change the weather. Is it always sunny in your story? Why? If they're in a desert, then really emphasize the scorching heat and dry air, and how that impacts the emotional and physical well-being of your characters. Utilize the weather. Give each character an arc, not just the protagonist. Characters without arcs feel flat, incomplete, and unsatisfying for readers. Is that what you want? Stop using abstract words. Any word that refers to an intangible concept, like anger, beautiful, peace, community, excited, honor, those are all abstract words, and they suck anything interesting out of your prose. Stop writing small talk. We don't like it in real life, and we definitely don't like it in fiction. Skip it. Revise in layers. Don't try to fix everything at once in every draft. Focus on one layer at a time. So you'll have a description draft, a dialogue draft, a character arc draft, layers. If you are bored, your reader will be bored. You can't just say, well, this is necessary information. It doesn't matter. Either find a way to get excited about it or leave it out. Your story will be better. Focus on details rather than originality. Details will always win out. Write every idea down, even if it bloats your first draft. You can whittle it down later. Don't whittle in your first draft. Scenes should not start and end on the same emotional beat. If a scene starts happy, then it should be scared by the end of the scene, or disappointed or angry or literally anything else, and vice versa. Learn more verbs and use them in innovative ways. Voices don't always have to break, rise, reverberate, or soften. Sometimes they can crumble, scuttle, bombard, or corral. You don't need to get all the details right in the first draft. Just keep it moving. Include stark contrast between settings, even if it's only a bedroom versus a backyard. Find unique details and highlight them. Dialogue can increase the pace of your novel, but too much dialogue without action will have the opposite effect. You can't get overwhelmed if you take it one task at a time. If you are halfway through your first draft and you get an idea on how to strengthen your novel, make note of that idea and then keep on going. Don't go back and revise now. That'll just slow you down. If you get stuck, take a break that lasts for the length of time it takes you to read a book, and then read a book. When you are finished with that book, get back to writing and end your break. You will be surprisingly refilled creatively, and you won't be constantly stressing about how long you've been away from your writing, since you knew going into the break that it would only last the length of time it takes you to read a book. Just read a book and get back to writing. Match character action with specific character personality. So, if your character is disappointed, don't automatically make them sigh and cross their arms. Not everyone reacts the same way to disappointment, or to any emotion. Some characters will lash out when disappointed. Others will withdraw or convince themselves that they never cared about it in the first place. Match the description of the emotion to the character, instead of following a rote description for every emotion. Similarly, make sure character reactions reflect how you want your character to be perceived by readers. If you want a stoic, reserved character, make sure they aren't overreacting to everything by throwing themselves through doorways, or jumping up in excitement, or moping during setbacks. Match their reaction to their personality. If you've heard a line of description before, then don't use it in your own writing. Cold as ice, release a breath I didn't know I was holding. Those are cliches. Avoid them. Say your dialogue out loud. You don't have to read your whole book out loud, I don't. But read your dialogue like you're practicing lines. If it sounds weird, rewrite it. If you can't think of the last time you heard a real human being say words like that, then rewrite it. Don't imagine characters in books saying words like that, because those could be badly written books. Read the lines as if you're a real human being and not a character in a book. Don't leave your characters alone. It's very hard, nigh impossible, to create tension in a scene with just one person hanging out in their room. I mean, maybe if they were alone hanging off the side of a mountain during a hailstorm, that'd be okay, but in general, don't leave your characters alone. Don't let your characters muse. They end up doing that when they're alone, and they just don't need to. There's a reason why we don't read minds in real life. And that is because it is boring as all get out. You might think your musings are interesting, but they're not, so don't include them. Don't rely on narration to keep your reader intrigued. For example, when Bob went to sleep that night, he didn't know it would be the last time he would lay in that bed. Dun dun dun. Just don't do that. It's an outdated way to keep readers engaged, and it feels like a prop you're relying on since the actual scenes aren't interesting enough to keep readers engaged. Write like you talk. Identify filter words and cut them. Instead of, Susan hears a train roaring down the track, simply say, a train roars down the track. Identify crutch words and cut them. Any word that calls attention to itself is a crutch word. A brouhaha is interesting on page 4, but not again on pages 12, 20, and 52. That makes it a crutch word. Go all into your writing. Characters aren't a little mad. They don't appear angry. They are mad. Show us their anger. Go all in. Unanswered questions, intrigue, mystery, and will they or won't they romance are universal ways to keep people reading. Try to include them in your story, no matter what genre of story you write. Identify your ideal reader and write for them, even if your ideal reader is yourself. Don't get married to a single story idea. Write everything to the best of your ability, and then move on. Make sure every sentence has a purpose, but only during revision. During the first draft, just write everything that you think, and move on. Readers don't start out caring about your story. It's your job to make them care. It is a mistake to assume that they'll want to figure out what happens. You have to make them want it. Add one sensory detail besides sight to every scene. Taste, smell, touch, sound. Use them, and use them more. Focus on creating empathy for your characters rather than on making them likable. Learn when to move on. Not all stories find an audience. Read poetry. If you don't like poetry, keep searching for a poet that you do like. It will help your writing more than you know. Focus on emotional honesty. Give your characters your most secret thoughts. Practice description by writing descriptions of photos in newspapers. One good line of description is better than a paragraph of mediocre description. Make note of scenes that move you in other people's writing. Figure out the mechanics of how they do that and then use it in your own writing. If you're having trouble getting into the head of a character, put them in their bedroom and then describe the room from their point of view. What do they notice? What do they ignore? What trains of thought are created in their head by having them observe their space? If any aspect of writing is harder for you than others, such as world building, description, or dialogue, then skip it entirely in the first draft. Don't let yourself get slowed down. All of your characters need a motivation in every scene, not just your protagonist. Figure out what your characters want before you start writing the scene, and it will make your writing much, much easier. The suffering artist is a myth. Ask for help when you need it. Your writing will always be better when you're taking care of yourself. If you're not having fun while you're writing, then stop writing and skip to a scene that is fun for you, even if that scene is in a different story. Don't try to describe everything. Let your reader create their own image in their head. Every scene needs tension. Every scene. Your protagonist's friends shouldn't agree with everything that they do. Create lists of things that you love, dishes, colors, plants, animals, destinations, and include them in your writing. All your characters shouldn't be generically attractive. It's boring and unrealistic. Learn to write charm and appeal without relying on standard beauty. Learn to enjoy revision. That's where you will find your voice as a writer. Keep lists of words that you like and include them in your writing. Try writing to music. It can help you find rhythm in your own words. Never delete anything. Move it into a different document. It makes revision way easier. You have to be your own biggest fan, and that means being honest with the quality of your work. You'll never know what's cliche, what's overdone, what's original if you don't read widely. You gotta read widely. It's hard to write in a vacuum. Find a writing community if you can. Write because you love it, not because you think it will sell. Because more than likely, it won't sell. And that has nothing to do with the quality of your work. There will always be better writers than you, but you are the only one who can tell your story. Don't be intimidated by other writers. We are all on the same team. Please like and subscribe.